my name is Emma, and today I would love to showcase my portfolio and my game. So let's start with my portfolio. Here on the first slide, as we can see, we have the introduction, something little about the project as a whole, and we also have my contact information. We have the table of contents, including every part of the portfolio. So, introduction, education, about me, experience, portfolio. In the introduction, here is something written about this project as a whole and why I chose these works. Simply, they are the best works I have made throughout the years, and I have tried to showcase every skill I am capable of. So next is my slide. My name is Emma Horníková. I am a student from Slovakia. Currently, I am 19 years old and have studied at the School of Applied Arts in Trenčín. So here we can see it is also written that I have studied in the degree digital painting and concept art. My personal skills are graphic design and typography, 3D modeling and visualization, illustration and storytelling, and then creative thinking, collaboration and craftsmanship. Then we have my work experiences. Here we can see I have done a 2-week internship at Synod Games, and I have also worked on a game, Get Lost. Then we can start with the portfolio itself. We can see some skull studies, mostly done in school, also as the anatomy studies, mostly done in chalk, pencil, or sepia. I have worked primarily with shapes and studying the anatomy. Here we can see detail studies done in watercolor and ink, and they are mostly for the studying of detail and shapes. Here we have landscape studies of the flora done in a plein air course we also did in school. Then we also have some nature studies. Here we have some of my personal work. It was an experimental work exploring composition, contrast, and expression through my own eyes, and I could unleash myself in these projects. Here I have experimented more with color and techniques. Here we can see acrylic and spray painting, also with some screen printing. Here we can see some commissioned graphic design. They were made for a client. The first one was made for an event, and then the second one was made for my classmates. Here I have some digital environment design. Here I've got my hands on Adobe Photoshop, where I started learning it in the 2nd grade. I started exploring lighting, composition, and visual storytelling. Next we can see my another project, Get Lost. It was a match 3 casino game. I worked on it with my classmate, and it also has a working prototype. Every asset we can see here, including the backgrounds, the items, and the UI elements, I have done myself. We also have some character design. The first character is named Victor, and he was also part of the Get Lost game, and these next two were made from my final project in school. Also exploring colors, storytelling, and their traits. Next we have some 3D game assets made in Autodesk Maya. Here we have some more assets, also exploring the shapes mostly, also with some lights. Next we are moving to the 3D environments. On the left we can see it untextured, and then on the right it is already textured with textures. Here I started to get more into textures. These two were made me, and they were inspired by some 3D assets to my game I have worked on in my final year of school. We can see 3D assets, textures, and then also UI. It was mainly focused on usability, clarity, and consistent visual style. So thank you. Now we are at the end over the game interface. I appreciate your interest in my work, and let's get to my game. So now we are in Unreal Engine. In the main menu we can see I have this 3D model space they have made in Maya and then imported to Unreal. I have experimented with shapes and the lighting, also getting to know the software because I've never really worked with such a thing, so this was a first time for me. Here I am showing you some of the details that are put into this level. Here I am just showcasing the model space. Now we are ready to start the level. Okay. Okay, so now we are loaded into the game. We can see that the movement in the game is also possible. We can jump, move around the place. Here I am just taking a stroll throughout the level. As we can see, we can go anywhere in the level. It is untextured. I hope to look into it more in the future and texturize the whole thing. Prints and the character settings so it would be cohesive with the height of our character. Okay, that is everything. Thank you so much for your attention and I hope to see you. Okay, so that is everything. Thank you for your attention and I hope to hear from you in the future.